He basically pulled off the world's greatest illusion. He made people believe that he's a good person. Morning, you guys. It's like early in the morning where I am. So good morning, wherever you are. Good afternoon, good evening, good night. I'll be using my Warrior palette by Juvias. I've already done my brows and I've already primed my eyelids. So I'm going to be talking about what's been going on since the whole Jeffree Star, I'm using this one, since the whole Jeffree Star, Shane Dawson situation, well, the docu-series. And I actually find it quite funny, quite ironic and quite entertaining, to be fair. So in my last video that I did about Jeffree Star, it was literally just like a roundup and my thoughts of the docu-series that was made. And ever since now, all of his, well, not all of his ex-best friends, but some of his ex-best friends have made it known that they're not here for any of it, which I find really funny. So it started off with Gabriel Zamora on Twitter on some beautiful island or in some beautiful country. Nikita Dragon, Manny MUA and Loreal. That's how you know it's early in the morning, my voice is cracking, Jesus. And he puts this up on Twitter. Let me move that out of the way so you can see it in all its glory. Then he goes on to say this. I know, right? Then he goes on to, oh, I'm using Mino. Then somebody replies, like there was like a ton of replies, and he decided to basically say that basically he has known Jeffree Star on a one-on-one basis, without the cameras, without the audience, without the spotlight, like just them together one-on-one. And how he would say the N-word like it's just a normal word, like it's an okay word, just like it's just normal. And he did it often. So when he's in front of the camera and he's being this bubbly person and acting like butter wouldn't melt, well, it's basically an act is what he was trying to say, because he knows the real Jeffree Star. That's what he's trying to say. And that's fine, that's your recollection of events. My issue is why now? Because in the first tweet, which was the picture, you're talking about how he's bitter. And I don't know what Jeffree Star would be bitter about right about now, to be fair. He basically pulled off the world's greatest illusion. He made people believe that he's a good person. What is he bitter about? And everyone's talking about him. Now you've managed to get everybody to talk about you, Gabe, but not in a good way, because now everybody thinks that you're, like, the timing was just completely off. It would have made sense for you to do this when it was relevant. Not that exposing him for saying the N-word is ever not relevant, but he's managed to get a lot of people on side and he's like the hot topic, as I said. So why is it only now that you're choosing to say these things? It just doesn't make much sense. It really doesn't. So the only person who comes across bitter is you. Now, admittedly, Jeffree did say in one of those videos that, you know, he does wish that he could reconnect with some of his old friends. So could Gabriel Zamora be talking about that? Like, oh, he's bitter because he wants to reconnect with his old friends, but they're happy without him. Is it like, that's the only connection that I could make? I'm not 100% sure. I absolutely love creating this look over and over and over again. I think this is, I've done this look a few times. I did it on camera once, and ever since I've just been doing it over and over again and again and again. Gorgeous. Sorry, I'm using the shade Benin in the center. But yeah, so the only person that really comes across as bitter is you at the moment, because he's not out here talking about Gabriel Zamora. The thing is as well, is that the way that he made these tweets sound, like when he was discussing Jeffree Star and his word usage, was that it happened on many occasions. and he thinks that it's so wrong and it's abhorrent and this, that and the other. It happened so many times. So why did it take so long for you to finally cut ties and walk away? Because I know that if someone does something so terrible and if you find it so disgusting, you would pretty much walk away immediately. So how many times did he have to do it before you walked away? Or is it that he did it and you tolerated it, and then once your lot's relationship was basically breaking down, that's when you walked away, or he cut ties with you, and now because everybody's seeing him as a good person, oh, it was disgusting, da 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 da. But it looks like you put up with it for a hell of a long time, because you're saying you heard him say it many times. So how many times did you hear him say it? Like, how long were you sticking around for? You were clearly going back and you were clearly meeting up with him, and after you've heard it like the first however many times, or that's why I can't take this seriously. And that's why I can't take a lot of these people who were his friends seriously, because no one can say they didn't know. It was all out there. There was even a couple of them who even stuck up for him. And then now that they're not friends, they want to talk about Jeffree Star's this and Jeffree Star's that. And I'm not saying that he's not those things. I'm just saying at the time you were sticking with him and you were sticking up for him. So you were basically co-signing this because you're sticking around it. But for what? For views, for clout, for subs. And it just goes to show what a lot of people are happy to sacrifice so that they can get further in their own careers, because you clearly saw that something wasn't right and that he wasn't doing something very well and that he's known for very negative things, but you stuck around anyway. I'm going to use The Ordinary foundation, the coverage foundation. So people started going through Gabe's old tweets and found that he said the N-word. I'll just pop it up here. And then he went and changed it, because this was via Instagram, which he then like also posted on to Twitter. So he wasn't able to change a Twitter one because it was literally a cut and paste. You know, like when you go to Instagram and you just like, you can also post it to Twitter or to Facebook at the exact same time. So when he changed it on Instagram, he didn't change it on Twitter. Whether or not he changed it right there and then, or he had changed it at the time, like when it first happened, I don't know. But I think it's so funny and ironic. Do I think people can change? Yeah, I do. And I think that people can represent one thing at one point in their life and then not represent it later on in their life. The thing is, when you are a public figure, and this is why it's such a big problem, when you're a public figure, and a big one at that, it's very difficult to distance yourself from previous things that you did, because it's always like stuck there, and it's like it's written in stone almost, because people are gathering information on you all the time, okay, and they're not making you forget what they know. It's like it's written in history. It's hard to shake. It's like your history is your history, especially when you are a public figure. And you can say until the cows come home, I'm not like that no more, da 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 da. But there's going to be some people who just don't believe that at all, because they'll look at your history and say, but you did this, but you did that, and they will just never let you forget it. I'm going to use my L'Oreal Infallible Stick Foundation. But as I was going to get the screenshot on Twitter for Gabriel Zamora, I also found this one for Loreal. Like, people were putting up this one and Gabriel Zamora's together, and I'm not being funny, but when I saw it, I wasn't surprised. The thing is, I find Loreal so funny and I find her sweet, but this, I don't know why, but I'd never heard any allegations of Loreal being racist or whatever, but this, I don't know why, it just didn't surprise me. I just wasn't surprised. Is it because we are just in a time where clearly a lot of these influencers have had like spouts of racism, and they're all coming out of the woodworks? Deep down in my unsubconscious, did I just already expect that she would have done something like this? I don't know, but for some reason I just was not surprised. When I saw it, I was just kind of like, oh Laura. And the thing is, when I see things like these kind of tweets, I just feel sorry for those people who are saying it, because it's like, for you to really have such a small mind, there must be something wrong with you. When you're being racist, there must be something wrong with you, because it's kind of like, to judge somebody solely on the color of their skin, to solely judge somebody on a pigment that we in the beauty community love so much. There must be something wrong with you. So I just feel sorry for you. And speaking of pigment, it was also brought to the forefront that apparently Jeffree Star has trademarked Manny MUA's catchphrase, which was "so pigmented," which he has on his merch. And you see, this is exactly why I reserved my judgment on Jeffree. Like, why did you feel the need to do this? Not just that as well, it's like the fact that, look, he has that on his merch. He uses Jeffree's merch business to fulfill his merch, and then you're going to go and trademark his catchphrase. Now, Manny, you should have trademarked your catchphrase way before this. It just feels like Manny's messing up. Like, look at his launch for his company. Like, that went sideways with the whole PayPal thing. Basically, he didn't set up a business PayPal, so all the money that he made went back to the customers, even though they already had their palettes. So it's just kind of like, you clearly, you're not doing things 100% correct. Like, you should have had that trademarked, that "so pigmented" trademark before you did your merch. Like, come on. And I'm not being funny, but you're messing with Jeffree by using his merch line. Like, I assume that you already had contract in place with his merch brand probably before you two fell out. That's probably why you still have your merch going through him, I would assume. But considering we know how petty he could be, why would you not trademark your words? Like, why wouldn't you? Oh my gosh. Wouldn't it be so fun if we found out that this whole fiasco was all just for public relations? Wouldn't it just be so funny if they were all just friends? Wouldn't it be so funny? I would find it like the best PR stunt in history if they were all friends and everything was cool, and really it was just a big publicity stunt. That would be hilarious. But yeah, I just kind of find that like, as soon as I saw that, I was just kind of like, this is exactly why I was reserving judgment on Jeffree, because the petty in him will never die, darling. It will never die. So this is the finished look. I absolutely love this. It's such a great go-to everyday kind of look. Like, I still feel a little bit glam, but it's still not too over the top for work. Anyway, how do you feel about these big beauty gurus coming out now and trying to expose Jeffree Star? I personally feel like they should have done it when, well, Gabriel Zamora, seeing as he's the one who's actually just speaking so bluntly, I feel like he should have done it when it was happening rather than however long down the road. And is it because Jeffree Star's getting the shine, and what is it? I don't know. But I definitely feel that he should have done it when it was happening at the time rather than now. Like, nobody really wants to hear it, unfortunately, because everybody's minds have now been changed because of the docu-series that Jeffree Star was a part of. So I don't know, me personally, I don't feel like I have been fooled by the whole Jeffree Star docu-series thing. If you feel like he's a different person because you've now gotten a better insight, that's fine, that's great. But my perspective of him has not changed. But at the same time, it just makes me kind of feel like these beauty gurus, clearly they cannot be trusted, in my opinion, because they were willing to stick by and overlook the disgusting things that Jeffree Star was doing literally in their face, and literally what was recorded in those videos, and like from way back when he was like shouting at people on the street and stuff. They're willing to overlook it and get subscribers and all of that stuff, and now it's an issue and now it's a problem. It's like, no, I see through your BS too. Anyway, so let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.